Good morning, everybody. This is Christy. I am the Intimate Warrior. I thank you so much for stopping by, and as always, I send you love. So today is November the 8th, and it is Monday, and I just wanted to make a note of that. We are a few days away from the peak of the 1111 gateway, and I'm not going to spend too much time on that as I move into more of the true meaning of this video. I just want you to be aware that the gate of 1111 is open. And this is a major wake-up call from Spirit. We all know that when we see the number 1111 on the clock or anywhere in our awareness through experiences, it is a sign that we should be waking up to something. And 1111 is a very powerful seeding point where we are able to manifest according to our highest divine plan. Now, the 1111 gateway, simply put, is here to support your awakening and to help you further expand your consciousness. All right, so having said that, let's move on. Today's video is about, because I have been feeling a little, well, I guess it was yesterday, I started to feel really out of it. Really out of it. It's, I didn't feel, it was a combination of, and I'm going to use words here because the human self understands these words. Now, my old self would really have fallen for these words, but I no longer fall for these words. But in order for you to get a kind of an understanding, I'm going to use a little bit, I guess, depression. This is how people get, ordinarily, when you feel a little disconnected or out of it, you can have a sense of depression. I wasn't depressed, okay? Please don't misunderstand. I'm trying to make you kind of understand symptoms without, by using that phrase or that word, but it was not at all how it used to be. Of course, in my depressed state, really, really, you all know, if you have suffered from depression, what it's like to be depressed. You could be crying, you could have emotional disturbances of all kinds, feeling really disconnected and out of it. And it can lead to, suicidal thoughts. All kinds of, terrible things can take place as a result of depression. Overeating, or lack of eating, lack of sleep, all kinds of stuff come along with depression. So it brought me back to remembering how I used to be, okay? So that's why I'm using that word. And so I started to, okay, what is going on here? And of course, I know we're in this 1111 gateway. But the 1111 gateway here is really to help support us into pushing us into our higher self. Of course, you can have an experience that isn't so pleasant, no matter what we are going through. No matter which gateways we are going through or whatever it is, there's always going to be an opposite of what we are going through in terms of energy or gateways, anything like that. You may feel the opposite. And people can fluctuate between feeling awesome one time and then not so great the next time, because all of it is here to support and help us push ourselves into more of our higher self. And so I was like, okay, we don't just have this 1111 gateway here coming up, but we have November the 18th and the 19th, we have a full moon eclipse coming up. Partial eclipse coming up, partial lunar eclipse, which is taking place in the sign of Taurus. Also, be aware that the sun is in Scorpio. And I was like, okay, this is it. An eclipse in general, no matter what type it is, the energy associated with it is, what's the word I'm looking for? Of course, intense. Eclipses are always here to help push us faster. It's a portal. They can be portals of energy that push us at a fast rate into our higher self, or to receiving more upgrades, anything like that. It's going to be an intense, like back to back to back to back of energy that is going to try and either trigger you, push you, whatever it is, into more of what you are supposed to be receiving. So let's see. As I was doing further research and getting this together, Taurus is the bull. And have you ever heard, of course you've heard the phrase, taming the bull. And what is it called? It's also the Fool's Journey, or I forget what it's actually called. Anyway, it's, I've mentioned this tale in other videos, I think last year, where we have to, which is the tale of the journey of our journey towards enlightenment. And it's so, and please excuse me for being a little stuttering or pauses here and trying to get my thoughts together. I think it's really amazing. I'm not sure amazing is the right word here to use today. How I'm understanding even more so, I mean, of course I have, that everything in this reality, of course, has been created as although it's a way to either deter us from being our higher self or push us into our higher self, depending on what you think. Thanksgiving is coming up here in just a few more weeks. We create these holidays in a form because we have gotten so out of sync of internal living through the spirit that we create these holidays, Thanksgiving, a way to be thankful, a way to be grateful. When we are always so focused on the outside world, we forget what it really means to live from inside. True gratefulness, true thankfulness is an inside job. How can you be thankful? How can you be grateful if you are full of negative thoughts and emotions, of trauma and pain? There's no way possible. If you are not full of love, there's no way you can find true gratefulness and true thankfulness. So I just wanted to put that out there, and then of course the meaning of Christmas. I'm going to hopefully make a video in reference to the true meaning of Christmas sometime. There's just always so much to do, but I guess on the days that I don't really have anything planned or scheduled or nothing comes to me, I could always make a video about Christmas and put that up there. And so let's go back to Taurus. And so saying that we create things in our reality because we have forgotten really what's internal that needs to be done. Taming of the bull, we know that in Spain and other cultures they have the bullfights and things like that, and all of that stuff that I'm trying to say here that's not coming out properly today, where they're trying to defeat the bull. The true thing about taming the bull is a person now who has actually done the work internally. Okay, we all have a bull within us. We all have a Taurus within us that needs to be tamed. This full moon partial eclipse in Taurus with the sun in Scorpio is in reference to the taming of the bull. Scorpio, as I have mentioned in another video, signifies the serpent and the Kundalini. If our bull has not been tamed, the Kundalini energy takes its downward spiral or controls in a negative way, which is also known as the Kunda buffer. And I've mentioned this in several other videos that I have made in the past. This is like in the tree of life. There's always the good and the evil. There's both sides of the tree. One light, one dark, one full of knowledge, one full of emptiness. And this is what it means. It signifies that if we are not using the energy for the highest good, it takes a downward spiral or goes in the opposite direction, where the ego makes us believe that we are actually doing what is right. And but the person who tames the bull. This is also the bull Apis, or the white bull of Zeus, I believe it was Zeus. Anyway, that had the writing. I don't know. Please again forgive me today for not being all here. Like I said yesterday, I felt totally empty, and I'm still dealing with lots of head fogginess for some reason, all out of the blue. Not for some reason, but so I have that going on today. And what was I saying? So we have a bull, and usually the bull in is signified or shown as being black or brown, whatever it is. The bull that has been tamed is transformed into white, meaning pure. And let's see, we are not supposed to, like with the sports that we have, kill the bull, harm the actual bull. We are supposed to transform the bull. We are supposed to change it internally from one element into the other. Now, when we are using the serpent, because we have learned to transform, we have learned to calm down our internal demons by learning more about ourselves. We are using the serpent for the highest good, which means, of course, we are in receivance of the Holy Spirit, and we are in resonance of love. There's so much, guys. And so the bull Apis is the symbol of the Holy Spirit. It is the spouse of which is the spouse of the divine cow and the divine mother. And their son was the calf, or Kabur, and please excuse me for these names, whose name was Horus. Horus. I know you've heard that name before, but it is actually pronounced Horus. Aurus. And when you add that Horus to the cross, which we all have to work with, the result is Taurus. I've mentioned the cross, or X marks the spot, here lately. I've also mentioned about the throat here lately, which is which is in relationship to Taurus, and it's not specifically. Well, it's the vocal cord, and it deals with, although it does deal with the throat chakra, it more specifically works with the Alta Major, that comes through the back of the neck and through the voice box or through the throat as the secret doorway, which I have also been mentioning here lately, which is the secret knowledge through the tree of life, which is knowledge of self. And it is what God speaks about. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The Word is also Logos. And so Horus, or Horus, however you want to pronounce it, is the Tau, which is the cross. I mentioned it in my other video about having the cross, I had an X, marks the spot that was through the neck and my spine, which is where the, it signifies the 33rd vertebrae also. And, excuse me. So, the Tau, or the cross Tau, Orus, Taurus, this is the symbol of the Taurian mysteries, and the secret of the sacred knowledge. It does become the seal. It is also works with the letter Tav, which, like I mentioned, is the symbol of the Logos. And so basically that we have to develop the throat through the secret, through secret knowledge, or through knowledge of self. This is the secret doorway, which works through the sexual forces, which are in relationship to the waters. Of course, the Kundalini. And don't forget that the Spirit of God was floating on the face of the waters, the sexual waters of Genesis. But in order for those waters to become active and to create, God said, "Let there be light." And the light was. So the power is within the throat. The power of the Logos is here in the throat. And so when you control the bull, you develop power in your throat. This is the verb, or the word, and it works with understanding. When we work with understanding, we are developing more of clairaudience. And this is in relationship, or works with, the power of Taurus. But is a power that really has many levels, because it's in relationship with the secret doorway of knowledge. And knowledge, we find that they're the union of two polarities. This is the union of the Holy Spirit and the bull Apis with the Divine Mother, known as Hathor. Bana means understanding. This is like, Bana means understanding, which is of the Holy Spirit. So when we arrive to this point, we have to understand that it is what we want. You have to want to, be a good person, want to be loved, which means that you are by you deciding that this is what you want, means that you are going to do whatever it takes in order to have this. And so when you enter into the mystery of the word, the secret doorway, which is the throat, then you enter into the mysteries of Orus, Aurus, which develops because that force develops with the cross, with the Tau cross, with the symbol of the union of man and woman. That is the T of Tau combined with Orus, which means the fire that develops within you through the power, which is part of the sexual alchemy. You transmute and you pronounce words because the word has power over the sexual forces. Now, it's every time we choose to, of course, speak correctly. And this is, of course, I am stuttering today. I'm all over the place. It's not what I'm talking about, okay? It's about choosing our words wisely, how we speak to other people, or when it is proper to speak and when it's proper to keep our mouth shut. I know, especially when we are waking up in our journey here, and we get all of this knowledge, and we're reading about all kinds of things, and it begins to make sense and click. We're like, oh my gosh, I really have to tell people. And I need to tell people that what they're doing is wrong. I did that too. I was like, oh my goodness, I have to tell someone to make their life a little bit easier. Knowledge comes with experience. And unless somebody is going through the same experience as you, which no one is walking the same walk. We might have similar paths. We might have things that are, again, similar. It's not the same walk. Same light, different experiences, And so we can't, it's not right for us to tell anybody how to walk the walk. By us saying you have to do this, no, you're doing something wrong, again, we're implementing a belief system that can actually backfire on another individual who is not ready, who's not ready to receive. The greatest type of knowledge that you can attain is the knowledge through experience. Now, many people would think that in order to develop clairaudience, that you need to develop your ears, or whatever it is, because clairaudience is the ability to hear what is not being spoken, or things that are not coming out in this atmosphere. Things that are hidden is clairaudience. So you can hear, you can pick up on all different types of sounds when you pick up or develop clairaudience. Now, also you would think that this takes developing the mind. You know, it kind of does, but that's also the type of reasoning or logical thinking that comes along with it. It actually, again, it comes with the throat. You know, you have to bite your tongue to sometimes not speak, right? But in order to develop clairaudience, really what you're doing is allowing all of the energy from all other chakras, lower chakras, to work through the throat. The power of the throat uses all other things, all the forces of all other chakras to help proceed. And which is, of course, the forces of nature and the cosmos. It means developing your inner being through the microcosmos, and then you acquire the power of tongues. It's actually like the Bible. The Bible is a fine example of it. You can read the Bible, and like for my past self, I tried to read it, and of course some things are pretty simple and self-explanatory. But in order to truly understand many of the phrases in the Bible, the verses in the Bible, it takes a different thing, a different type of understanding, a different force. That is what it means here. And the Bible, of course, has been translated into different language, and we even have different religions that have their own type of Bible or you know, understanding of what their God is or the universe is, and it's actually being developed through a certain percentage of your chakras that works through, again, your throat, which gives power to clairaudience. You know, it's like, you know, people can be talking to you and telling you about their experience, and all you hear is blah, blah, blah. Or you're only picking up on something and not the whole thing. I know for when I'm talking about an experience I'm going through, and, you know, let's just use my husband for example, you know, he doesn't understand. It's because he hasn't developed a certain type of understanding. It's not because he's not actually having the same experience. It's because he's not even open to that type of experience or understanding. So I probably forgot to mention this early on in my video, that Taurus, the opposite of Taurus, is a Scorpio. So the full moon is in Taurus, the sun is in Scorpio. And I think you can make this link now, I hope, and make that connection is what I'm trying to say. I mentioned in one of the videos, I think one day, I mentioned the Lord's Prayer, and I explained it to you. This is the power of raising the serpent, which when we actually understand it, not just are speaking it, the power of what this the Bible prayer can do for you is tremendous. It is the solar fire that we raise within us through our sexual organs of our physical body, of course, that eventually rise. And let's see. So I'm going to leave it at this and try to make another video in reference to it. And again, please forgive me for, you know, I'm going through a lot of things as well. I am not finished here, and by all means. So the way that I, speak through certain videos sometimes is not with lots of smoothness, if you will, or flow, and I do apologize. I again am doing my very best. I'm coming out of a very low day yesterday, and of course I have had a period of several months of just high transition. And from the eclipse season here, I want to also mention that the eclipse season is going to take us into most of 2022 and a little bit of 2023, with Taurus and Scorpio being highly significant with these eclipses. And so I hope this video gives you a deeper perspective on what this truly means, and that we don't necessarily, we can't really receive. There's so many levels, like I say all the time, there's so much we have to go through in order to become initiates or master ourselves, and in order to experience the I Am presence. And I know that I say we're on the cusp. We always are. Every time we get to a level, we are already receiving something that makes us more grateful. Yet there is so much more. There's always so much more. And I think it's beautiful that we can always transform, always receive, always evolve, and that it's not ever over until we choose to remove ourselves from this reality here. So I just wanted to share that with you today, and I hope you find it well. I hope it serves you well. This is Christy. Much love, health, and healing your way. I am bringing purpose to your life. Take care.